It's starting to feel almost guaranteed Ilia Topuria might be stepping into the octagon against Paddy Pimblett next. The hype around this matchup is insane. Sure, if we're talking pure technique, Arman Tsarukyan might be a tougher and more balanced opponent for Ilia. Arman's got solid wrestling, clean striking, and real grit. But Paddy? Paddy brings something totally different to the table. He's wild, unpredictable, and has a unique energy that makes people want to watch. Win or lose, even though Paddy's striking game isn't nearly as sharp or clean as Ilio's, you can see his chin is usually way up in the air, and that's dangerous. He still presents real problems, especially with his grappling. His awkward frame, those long arms and legs, his forward pressure, and above all, his confidence. It's a chaotic mix. And what's refreshing is that Paddy isn't living in a fantasy. He knows the risks. He's actually said himself that trading punches with Topuria would be stupid. He plans to take it to the ground and try to out-wrestle El Matador. That honesty is rare. If this fight happens, it's going to be huge. Not just another UFC match, but an event that captures global attention. Fans are already losing their minds. Big John McCarthy and Josh Thompson even spent a good amount of time breaking it all down on their podcast. Big John especially is pumped. He believes this could be a blockbuster pay-per-view event. Whether it ends up in Spain or the UK, it's bound to be a global showcase. Just picture it, an arena packed with fans from Spain, the UK, Georgia, and everywhere else. Tickets would be gone in minutes.
You thinking Paddy first and then Arman?
I am now. I wasn't before. Just being honest. Everything comes down to, as a promoter, you want things to be in line with what's going to work for you in selling that next show. But this sells. It does sell, and it sells throughout, Europe, with Spain and England being, there. You could hold it in either one. It would work because people from Spain would flood into England, or England would flood into Spain to go watch. And you take a look, they've got heat. They don't like each other. That's a good thing at times. Where the Arman Tsarukyan thing, Arman's kind of fell out of the light with what happened and everything. I just look at the pinnacle for Topuria is unknown. He is going to be that special kind of fighter. Look, you get these kind of fighters once every decade.
But the drama didn't stop with just fight speculation. Right after UFC 317 wrapped up, Khamzat Chimaev hopped on Instagram Live. It wasn't long, maybe 5 minutes, but it had everyone talking. He gave fans a few quick updates. He mentioned his upcoming title fight against Dricus Du Plessis at UFC 319, but the real highlight? His reaction to Ilia Topuria's jaw-dropping KO win over Charles Oliveira. During the live stream, a fan asked about the Du Plessis fight. Khamzat smirked, looked over at his team, and confidently said, "We're gonna smash Dricus." That one line sent shockwaves. It wasn't just confidence, it was a declaration of war. Khamzat's not just coming to fight, he's coming to completely take over. This fight with DDP is a massive deal, not just for the middleweight division, but for the UFC's future. And when you add Ilia Topuria's knockout into the mix, you realize we might be watching two of the UFC's next major global superstars emerging side by side. Ilia went from promising prospect to full-blown superstar overnight. It's that KO, it didn't just win a fight, it made history. And now if Khamzat can walk into UFC 319 and destroy Du Plessis, especially in dominating fashion, he could very well be next in line for superstardom. Let's face it, the UFC needs that right now. John Jones just retired, Alex Pereira lost major name, but that unbeatable aura, it took a hit. The UFC is looking for its next big thing. Khamzat could be it. Then, as the Instagram Live rolled on, Khamzat's tone shifted. He congratulated the Georgian people and Topuria on their massive achievement.
We're gonna smash Dricus to the whole.
Everybody, kill everybody.
Поздравляю грузинов.
Congratulations to all Georgians for this great victory. You have a world champion in yet another weight class, a double champ. You guys made history today. Ilia, what a monster. Great guy as well. Unbelievable knockout. Ilia is a machine. Ilia Machina? That's major respect coming from Khamzat. You could see the excitement in his eyes. This wasn't fake. He knows what it takes to do what Topuria just did. And he gave him his flowers. And then came the debate everyone knew was coming. The pound-for-pound conversation. Islam Makhachev's coach recently jumped into that discussion. He didn't take sides outright, which makes sense since he's close with Islam, but he also didn't dismiss the idea of Ilia being one either. When someone on the podcast said they thought Topuria had now claimed the pound-for-pound top spot, the coach didn't shoot it down. He stayed diplomatic, saying Islam still has a chance to solidify his place, especially if he moves up and wins the welterweight title. But still, the coach acknowledged that Ilia's resume speaks for itself, and let's be honest here, Ilia has a real case. The man is undefeated. He didn't sneak by on scorecards. He knocked out Alexander Volkanovski, he finished Max Holloway, then he went up in weight and took out Charles Oliveira. 3 legends, 3 decisive finishes. Only a handful of fighters in UFC history have held belts in 2 divisions, and Ilia did it in style. Right now, if you're talking about the best fighter on earth, you can't leave El Matador out of that conversation.
This fight, I do believe, right now, Ilia Topuria is the #1 pound-for-pound guy.
I will say it's up for debate, and if people feel you're correct, you're correct.
But right to this moment, to this very day, Ilia Topuria is the #1 pound-for-pound.
But listen, this is like what Dana White said. It's not for him to decide, it's for the fans to decide. So it's not for me to say what, it's for the fans to decide. So if I say, oh, you're wrong, well, who cares what I say? The fans vote. Yeah, they win. So whoever they feel is still #1 is #1. I don't know. I mean, you can't, honestly speaking, the guys destroyed 3 champions back to back, knocked them all out. Okay, 3 of them. Okay, how can you dispute that greatness? You can't. You know, all I'm saying is the fans.
But just when Topuria was flying high, he got hit with some tough news from none other than Dana White. Ilia has been dreaming of bringing a UFC event to Spain, specifically at Madrid's famous Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. It would be a massive, history-making event. But during the post-fight press conference at UFC 317, Dana White shut the dream down, at least for now. He was blunt. Spain isn't even an option right now. That's a gut punch to Topuria. This was more than just a title defense for him. It was personal. Fighting on home soil in front of thousands of Spanish fans, family, friends, countrymen would have been the ultimate moment. The Bernabeu has everything. A retractable roof, huge capacity, state-of-the-art everything. It seemed like the perfect spot for a UFC stadium show. The last one happened all the way back at UFC 243 in Australia. This could have been the next one, but behind the scenes, big problems. According to journalist Del Campo Gonzalez, the stadium is currently facing restrictions that block anything other than football matches. There are major permit issues with the city, plus residents have complained about noise levels from past concerts. Apparently the venue was fined more than $2,500,000, 0 cents, over those violations. That's no small change. Ilia had also hinted at another problem months ago: the timing. Pay-per-view broadcasts in Spain that align with US primetime hours are really hard to pull off. The time difference throws everything off. While the NFL is still scheduled to host a game there later this year, it'll be held in the afternoon, which avoids most of those city restrictions. So yeah, Dana didn't completely shut the door. He said the UFC will eventually make it to Spain, but not yet, not soon. For now, Ilia's dream of a Spanish title defense is on pause. Fans hoping to see him fight in front of his people are going to have to wait. But even with that roadblock, one thing is clear: Ilia Topuria is on fire. The KO, the double championship, the pound-for-pound debate, he's shaking up the entire UFC landscape, and with fighters like Khamzat Chimaev hot on his heels, the next few months in MMA are going to be explosive. 2 rising giants, 2 dominant forces, and the world is watching. So now the stage is set. Whether it's Ilia Topuria defending his crown against Paddy in front of roaring UK fans, or Khamzat Chimaev marching into UFC 319 ready to steamroll his way to the top, one thing's for sure: this new era of UFC is just getting started. The torch is being passed, and these fighters aren't just showing up to compete, they're coming to dominate, to make history, and to leave their names carved in the legacy of the sport. And as fans, all we can do is buckle up and witness greatness unfold, one brutal knockout, one bold challenge, and one unforgettable night at a time.